Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online and on the go. This is Valley News Live 10 at 10.
A new scam is targeting college students. It asks them to log on to their student account, and that's when the trouble starts, once the student gives their credentials. Valley News Team's Melanie Palmer takes a look at this scam that's affecting Minnesota colleges.
College students are being warned. It's a new phishing scam looking to steal financial information. Students receive an email with the subject line Star ID deactivation. This email states that if they don't want their account deleted, they need to click on the provided link and put in their student ID and password. Once hackers get access to these credentials, they are changing the students' direct deposit information.
What we believe is that scammers are hoping to catch somebody who's green, somebody who maybe is a freshman, super excited to be in college, you're in your first few months.
This scam has been affecting students in the Minnesota state system, but so far, no students at Minnesota State University Moorhead.
I would say, actually, out of all the email addresses or all the emails that we get here on MSUM campus, over 50% of them are blocked.
So many of them are blocked that many students have rarely encountered them.
Sometimes one will get put into our emails, but most of the time the school's pretty good at getting them before they get to the students.
Emails aren't the only way college students are targeted by scammers. Phone calls requiring payments continue to sweep campuses.
Students are getting phone calls saying that they owe a tax on their tuition or an extra fee. And those things aren't true.
Whether it's a phone call or email, school officials are ready to help. If you're trying to figure out if a message is legitimate, you can contact the technical support staff at your school. In Moorhead, Melanie Palmer, Valley News Live.
And if you receive a call or email demanding money or personal information, do some research before giving them out. You can also help prevent others from being a victim by a scam by reporting any suspicious emails or phone calls to your local police. We have good news tonight as a 27-year-old from Fergus Falls is no longer missing. A family member telling Valley News Live about an hour ago that Shalaya Helland was located in St. Paul. They believe she is okay. Police told us that Helen left her group home last week. There was an earlier report that she had been seen at truck stops in the Twin Cities. Family members tell us that they are on their way to pick her up. A 36-year-old Minnesota man is dead after crashing into the back of a tractor trailer. This happened in Polk County. The Minnesota State Patrol says the tractor trailer was stopped on Highway 75 just south of Climax when 36-year-old Jason Nelson of Neilsville crashed into it. Nelson was pronounced dead at the scene. He was not wearing a seatbelt at the time of the crash. Roads were dry at the time and alcohol did not play a factor in the crash, according to investigators. Law enforcement in North Dakota will be putting an extra focus on underage drinking this month. Starting Friday through Halloween night, extra patrols will be out across the state enforcing the law on underage drinking. It's part of the Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over campaign. Officers say that the enforcement to educate and deter teens from drinking in order to keep them safe has been successful. More than 300 people have died in alcohol-related crashes in North Dakota over the past 5 years. Firefighters have been able to gain control of a grass fire east of Gilby, North Dakota. I was told that there were a few crews remaining at the scene at this hour. The pictures from this afternoon show heavy smoke in the area of Grand Forks County 33. Hundreds of acres were burning at one time. However, we're told little damage was caused. It's not known what caused the fire, but there was plenty of it, as you can see. It looks pretty dangerous. Now, thanks to Melanie Grindy for allowing us to use her photos. Susan Bala is asking for a judge to clear her name. She's the founder of a former horse racing betting company in North Dakota whose conviction for illegal gambling was overturned. Bala of Fargo spent 17 months in prison before an appeals court overturned a 2005 conviction against her and her company. Later, a federal judge declined to grant Bala a certificate of innocence that she sought to help her recover damages. Bala's attorney now says that details from an ongoing bankruptcy court battle and other legal rulings support her new application. North Dakota lawmakers approved paying back Bala $15.8 million in taxes back in April. A judge has ordered for mental health evaluation on a Moorhead man accused of rubbing hot sauce and cayenne pepper in the eyes of his 2-month-old daughter. Sean Foltz is facing multiple felony child abuse charges from an incident in May where he also allegedly kept his daughter from breathing until she turned blue. All court proceedings will be halted until the evaluation is complete. The former sheriff in Wells County, North Dakota, is expected to enter a guilty plea after cutting a plea bargain with the state. According to court documents, Johnny Lawson has a change of plea hearing scheduled for later this month. However, details of that deal are not yet known. Lawson was accused of using meth on the job and telling deputies to look the other way. He was originally charged with conspiracy to deliver meth, bribery, making false reports to law enforcement, and refusing to do his public duty. Those charges could land him in prison for up to 25 years. Halloween is 3 weeks away, and if you're not careful, your kids might get something more than a treat, something spookier. Doctors are seeing a jump in head lice, saying costume shopping is partly to blame. If you buy a costume new or used, you're advised to put it in the dryer on high for 45 minutes or put it in a plastic bag for 2 days to kill the lice.
Do go through a very specific garment inspection process, which means that we don't put anything out on the floor that smells funny. We don't put anything out on the floor that has a major rip in it or a major stain on it. Some of the Halloween costumes are going to have a little bit more wear, but we make sure that nothing has any bugs on it.
Savers employees have another safety tip. When you're picking out a costume, make sure it's not too long. They see a lot of people making that mistake only to trip and fall, especially when it's dark out. A Minnesota native seriously hurt in the Las Vegas shooting has been moved from the ICU and is now able to spend time with his children at the hospital. Phil Orrick was among the nearly 500 people injured during the massacre that left close to 60 people dead. And Orrick's family says he's truly thankful for all the support he's gotten. Reporter Zachary Lashway has the latest.
As he was running away, shot in the back.
From that moment on, Phil Orrick would join the list of some 500 people injured in the Vegas shooting.
We got a call in the middle of the night, and Ben's phone rang, and it was Phil, and we just turned it off because we knew he was at the concert. And I was like, probably a butt dial.
But seconds later, Sheila and her husband Ben, Phil's brother, received another call.
There was just all this background noise, and again started to think, oh, it's just a butt dial, until we heard Allie screaming, Ben, Phil's been shot.
Phil and his girlfriend Allie ran for cover.
They had seen like 3 ambulances and a cop car kind of blocking them off. So they ran towards that, but as they got there, all 3 pulled away. And then the cop who was sitting there, I guess he just said, I'm not supposed to leave, but get in.
Phil, still conscious when they arrived to University Medical Center, was rushed into surgery. 12 hours later, he'd undergo another operation.
He had some fairly serious organ damage. They had to remove his spleen, part of his colon. He had a ruptured diaphragm, which collapsed a lung, and a fractured rib.
The 36-year-old father of 2 spent most of last week in ICU, not able to see his children while he began recovery.
Late Saturday night, they moved him.
And on Sunday, Phil was reunited with his children.
It was a great surprise that we got them in there.
Sheila says the support has been a game changer for Phil.
Phil got like a 2-minute personal video message from PJ Flack, motivational, and it was on the day that he needed it, where he was really struggling to push to do the exercises to get out of ICU, and that made a huge difference for him.
On a new journey where fear and pain have no hold.
Amazing. Orrick's family says they're turning down any donations. They are asking people instead to donate to the children of Steve Berger, a single dad from Minnesota who was killed in last week's shooting in Las Vegas. We have a link to their GoFundMe page attached to this story on our website. Go to valleynewslive.com.